Howdy. I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music, and this right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing, as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, preferably after this video, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. But without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie. Today, urban politics is kind of a misnomer because I'm only going to talk about politics only a teaspoon of politics. Today, we're getting into some social stuff. We're getting into some pop culture stuff. I'm going to talk about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Now, a lot of you will probably ask yourself, why would I even talk about this on a show that's about politics? Well, I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a student of hip hop. Everybody knows that's my first love. Now, my number one music or favorite music is alternative rock. Believe it or not, these days, the older I got more into alternative rock than even hip hop because hip hop has changed. But I'm still a fan of hip hop. That's still my first love. So, I still always have my eyes on the culture, eyes on the community. And this has been a big deal in the community. It's been a big deal worldwide. I think KRS-One is the one who said that hip hop rules, and these other industries out here can't take it. Whatever you know. That's what KRS-One said, and he was right. And eyes are always on hip hop, right? So I'm watching MSNBC, and they talking about the Kendrick Drake beef and all this other stuff, and I'm like, wow, why does the quote unquote real news care about hip hop? Because that is real news, right? Black folk, hip hop, we've been running pop culture since there was a thing called pop culture. And ain't nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? The world is still watching Kendrick. They still watching Drake. They still watching us to see what's the next move. So this is interesting. So I got to talk about it, right, ladies and gentlemen? I got to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. Number one, let's talk about Kendrick and Drake. First person shooter. You know what I'm saying? Now that was the song that it came out, right? And that first person shooter was Drake and J. Cole. It didn't have Kendrick in it at all, right? But in there, they had said something about, J. Cole was saying something about he feels like, it's the big three or whatever, him, K-Dot, and Drake or whatever are like the big three. So saying they're like the big, the best three rappers in rap right now or in hip hop right now, which is, debatable or whatever. How about this? No three of them are in my top. No, I'll take that back. That's not true. They're in my top 5, but my number one favorite rapper, I've said it on the show, is Vince Staples. That's my favorite rapper. But these guys come right behind him. So, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to these guys. They definitely huge players in the game. So that's what, J. Cole was saying. That he was saying the biggest in the game was him, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. So then a song comes out like that has Future and Kendrick Lamar. And basically that's, that's what Kendrick Lamar, man, he said, F the big three, it's just big me. I can't even say the words, but go check it out. It's a great song. So, right there, he kind of rebuffed that whole thing. Like, nah, ain't no big three. I'm the best. Now, first of all, when that came out right there, I kind of was like, that's the true essence of hip hop. I've done rap a long time. I put out plenty of mixtapes in this city. People know Fizz Ed gets it in on the mic. Number one, when you an MC, nobody is better than you, right? Nobody. I tell them all the time, man, I'm 47 years old. I ain't rapped in years. I mean, unless somebody wants a verse, I just gave a verse to my brother Maelstrom, who got a fresh album coming out. I just dropped a verse on that hot song. But I don't really rap no more, you know what I'm saying? But how about this? Let somebody step to me talking about they want some bars. I got those bars. I keeps a bag of bars for these young boys and any other MC think they want to test me on the mic. Come test me out. But see, that's the MC in me. When you are a rapper, when you're an MC, you on the mic, nobody's better than you. God could come and touch this mic and he will take an L to you if you a true MC. That's what you feel about yourself. So when he said that, I felt that. I was like, that's in the spirit of hip hop. That's not a diss. That's just him letting it be known. Like, no. The only competition I have is myself. That's how I feel, ladies and gentlemen, just about life. Anyway, moving on. Then a song came out, 7-minute drill. Oh, that was J. Cole's rebuttal, right? Because he was a little mad about that, right? He didn't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Kendrick Lamar gonna come out like that. He like, oh, okay, well, he looked at it as a personal diss. He came out with the 7-minute drill, but then he apologized. No, I ain't dissing. J. Cole's doing a concert. He sits there and talk about how it didn't feel right in his soul. He wanted to pull it back. He didn't like about how he was talking about Kendrick Lamar's catalog and all of that stuff. Whatever. I was kind of like, man, you put a diss record out there, just let it go ahead and go, and now we off to the races, man. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. But he acted like it was such a big deal, and he didn't like it, so he pulled it back. Whatever, I'm not dissing that man for that. How about this? If something don't rest well in your spirit, then pull it back. And if that man felt like he needed to pull that back, I'm not mad at him. Now, do I think it was that big a deal? No. Do I think it's all good-spirited, good-natured ribbing and all in the spirit of hip-hop, the true essence of hip-hop? Yes. But if J. Cole don't feel like that, then by all means, good sir, pull it back so you can sleep at night. You got too much money to not be sleeping at night. Anyway, so then another song comes out, Push Ups, and that was Drake. Now that was Drake, of course, taking direct offense at Kendrick Lamar having the audacity to say that he number one when Drake is like, man, I sell more records than you, I got more women than you, and all of that good stuff. This is champagne poppy over here. How you gonna come at me like that? So, of course, and then in that same song is when he told Metro Boomin to shut up and make some drums. You know, shut up, make some drums. He shouldn't have said that. We'll find out later. But that's what he gonna say. And then that my thing too is how you gonna bring the producer in it? Metro Boomin is a heck of a producer. He does stuff for Future all the time. He might be the only producer that Future works with if Future ain't doing a feature. Why would you come at Metro Boomin for doing that like that beat when what else would you expect? Future was on it. Anyway, moving on. So he came in Metro Boomin. He will regret that later. Then another song comes out, Tailor Made Freestyle. That was by Drake. And obviously, he was kind of going at how Kendrick Lamar, it did that song with Taylor Swift and saying that, you know, Top Dog made him do that and that was some pop crap and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, that's really, what is that? I mean, that's kind of what the industry is. All these guys do that, really trying to get that crossover ear, you know what I'm saying? Really trying to get the ear of these young white people with a whole lot of young white money. So that wasn't really a diss. It's like, bro, that's y'all's job. That's what y'all do. And then use the Tupac and Snoop Dogg voices. I guess the Tupac Foundation or the people who handle all that stuff in Tupac's name, because you know Tupac is kind of a god in the hood, made him pull that down. What did he think was going to happen? You just can't be willy-nilly out here using Tupac's voice in your diss battle, right? Or Snoop. They said Snoop was like, what is that? Like, when did I do that? You didn't. It's called AI. So that was kind of silly, but Drake did that. Whatever. Then Rick Ross puts out a song, Champagne Moments, playing off of how, you know, Drake is champagne poppy, right? Talking about, and it's a Drake diss, calls him a white boy. Talking about how he used black rappers as clout. Kind of even going to some of the same criticism that he got from Kendrick Lamar about how you ran to 21 for this and how you ran to Lil Yachty for that and all that stuff, right? And I'm going on record as saying I like some of these collaborations. Her Loss with 21 Savage, great album. Some of the stuff he's done with Lil Yachty, I love it. Real, just being honest. Some of this stuff is good stuff at the same time. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar got a point. You know what I'm saying? Drake did do these things. So it is what it is. Rick Ross calling him out as a white boy and being mad at him, talking about how he did a cease and desist on a French Montana record and all this stuff. And then Rick Ross is basically kind of sounds like he's saying that he's a white man who don't like brothers making money. That's interesting. I didn't even know that was a critique that Drake is getting, but I talked to my little sister and some other people, and they said, yeah, it's a critique he been getting. So there's that. Who knew? I don't know what to say about that. I'm still a Drake fan. I'm still a Kendrick Lamar fan, but I do think this stuff is true. I don't think anybody's lying here, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think anybody's lying. Let me keep going on. Anyway, moving on. Next, a song, Euphoria, comes out. This was a Kendrick Lamar song. It was really, really good. Right here, I'm saying quality versus quantity. Drake has a huge catalog. Kendrick Lamar has a few songs that are really, really, really good. So that's what it is. Quality versus quantity. This guy's got a whole bunch of music. Oh, man, you could probably could fill 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours with nothing but a Drake mix. And the songs will be good. You're going to jam to them. You're going to shake your moneymaker to him. You're going to shake your moneymaker. You're going to shake your butt to him, right? These are good party songs. But Kendrick Lamar has some real thoughtful material. He really has food for thought. He really has sustenance. His music is sustenance to where Drake, not so much. Once again, I like both brothers. Anyway, uh Kendrick then goes on in this song Euphoria to talk about how he hates him and the culture hates him and they hate him saying the N-word. And then this is his parenting, talking about how, you all out in the streets and you like being famous and I'm raising a son, you don't know nothing about that. Ah, wop, wop, wop. Then with shots at him, so I can't even lie. That's pretty deep. That really shows the difference in battles these days. We got these guys getting real deep, talking about how his boys is pedophiles and all these people in OVO ain't nothing and all this other stuff. Well, that's coming in a minute here. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. But talking about how he's a bad parent and talking about how, of course, you know what I'm saying, out here in the street because I'm raising my son, you don't know nothing about that and all that. That's some ill stuff. That's different right there. This song, 616 in LA, was a Kendrick Lamar song. I think it was the best song in this whole thing of battles. This whole little genre right here that we have of the Drake Kendrick Lamar back and forth. I think this is the best song. It was an Al Green sample, and he was just talking about how OVO couldn't wait to tell him this stuff about Drake. He was just in that song just talking about how Drake, you surrounded by a bunch of snakes. They couldn't wait to give me this dirt about you, and this is how I got it and all of that. That was interesting. Give me a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Gotta drink a little something. Sutter Home Moscato. Delicious. Anyway, moving on. Listen. Next, a song, Family Matters, came out. That was a Drake song. Calls Kendrick Lamar out. Said that he's always trying to free the slaves. Now, that right there was an interesting diss to me because I was like, that ain't a diss, Drake. That's not this. Drake, you should be on the same thing. Right now, we need to free the slaves. There's plenty of black folk and white folk. How about that? For that matter, enslaved. You need to be freeing mentals with your music. So that right there kind of speaks to what I just said about how one guy has an amazingly long catalog, but the other guy has sustenance. He has substance in his music. Drake, that right there kind of shows how you lack substance because you come at this man saying every time he rap, he's trying to free the slaves. That's one of the best verses I ever heard. Every time I talk, I'm trying to free slaves. How about that, Drake? Every time a word comes out of my mouth, I'm hoping that someone who is in mental bondage gets free. So there's that. Anyway, moving on. Drake was also saying in this song that his claims were bogus. Talks about how some girl just said they just lip locked. So once again, this goes to what guy on Sirius Satellite Radio was talking about. Went through all these beefs, all these battles through hip hop history, and most of them have been over what? A girl. Most of them have been over a chick. A lady, a woman, a female. Wow. But why does that surprise anybody? Can't surprise anybody. Wars have been fought over what? Girls, a lady, a female, a woman. So a lot of these rap battles boil down over that. I guess Drake is running around here talking about that he maybe did something with Kendrick Lamar's baby's mom or whatever, and then said something about he said something about Drake said something about what did he say? Tell Pharrell to get his legacy off my couch or something like that. So, excuse me. I think he's alluding to messing around with Pharrell's kid or something. Talking about Kendrick beats his wife. That was one of the themes that was going on in this battle too. So, in this song right here, Family Matters. So, disturbing stuff you didn't used to see in a battle and never used to get this deep back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, another song comes out called Meet the Grams. That's by Kendrick Lamar. Talks to Drake. Or actually, he's talking to Drake's unborn son. Talks to Drake's mom and dad. It's crazy, man. Called him a pervert. Called him a pedophile. Said that he hates black women. All that he said in this song, The Grams. It gets deep. It gets real deep. That's probably the deepest song, I think, in this whole genre of back and forth. That got real deep. Real dark. Got real deep, real dark. Anyway, Not Like Us. That's the song you've probably heard a lot right now. It's one of the last songs that has come out in this whole back and forth, and people been jamming to it. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. And that's where the whack come from. I misplaced that, but that's where that come from. But you know what I'm saying? In that song, Kendrick Lamar talks about calls OVO the other vaginal option. That's hilarious. That's funny as all get. Called the OVO crew the other vaginal option. That's hilarious. Calls Drake a colonizer. Oh, and then talked about how where that comes from is that he's talking about how Drake run to Atlanta, to do songs with these guys or whatever. And, he's just a colonizer, just using these black people for their publicity and for their fame and for their name and for their face and for their clout and all of that stuff, right? So, yeah, there was some lyrical darts. Then he got a little dance at the end where he say, oh, he said, say, oh, V ho, say, oh, V ho, oh, V ho. So I'm like, it's funny, man. Kendrick Lamar got busy on him right there in that song. That Not Like Us. People been jamming it there. I've been watching TikTok. I've been seeing places where they screaming it from rooftops in Canada. That's gotta hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Moving on. BBL Drizzy. If you have not heard BBL Drizzy, after this, that'd be the first thing you look up because that is hilarious and actually a good song. Now that right there is by Metro Boomin. Back, what song was that? We ain't gonna tell Metro Boomin shut up and make some, shut up and make some drums. He shouldn't have said that because when he said that, Metro Boomin was listening and said, for real, make some drums. I got you. BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy. If you ain't heard, I know you've seen the memes of Drake looking back with the hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. Go look that up. But BBL Drizzy. That came out by Metro Boomin. I'm not gonna lie. All that song shows me is that Metro Boomin is more talented than what I knew or what I thought. You know what I'm saying? For real. Well, not what I thought, but what I knew. Metro Boomin, he's an amazing producer. I'm going to regular on this show and say he's a great producer. Oh, the beast that he done gave Future and some other people. Chef's kiss, right? But this right here, this BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy. It blows me away too because have you ever seen a producer actually have a snapback at a rapper? Never seen it. Maybe this is the first time in history. If it's happened again, please somebody hit me up with some information about how it's happened in the past. But that right there is impressive. Metro Boomin, A+, governor. Anyway, moving on. The Heart is a song by Drake. Claims all the info that Kendrick got was fake. Then what I'm saying, kind of said that Kendrick was putting that on him because that's what you're trying to say too, to say that Kendrick was coming at him talking about he got an affinity for young girls and all of that because of Kendrick Lamar's issues, because in a song what is it, Mother I Sober, that's on Kendrick Lamar's album, he talks about being molested and different stuff like that. And it's interesting because when I'm on the internet, it seems like the kids really didn't like that at all. They didn't like the fact that Drake would use somebody's pain like that and try to turn it on them, say that, oh, you coming after me about young girls because you were touched as a kid, when people were like, that wouldn't be fair, Drake, if we don't have videos of you talking to young girls. I can, right off the top of my head, when all this comes out, once again, I go on record saying I'm a Drake fan, but I remember watching a concert with him, and when I talk about this, you'll probably remember it yourself, and a young girl that came on stage, and he's holding her or whatever, kind of embracing her, and then, she leaves, I think she was 16 or 17 or something, he says, as long as it's wrong that, I liked her young head on my chest or something. He says, I'm paraphrasing, ladies and gentlemen, but it was not a good look. And it does not age well. And that video is out there. You could probably pump that up on YouTube right now. So Drake has had his issues with young girls. It doesn't look good when you try to flip it around like that because, especially these days, times have changed. Times have changed. And right now, when you try to ridicule somebody or exploit somebody because they've went through that pain, it falls flat on his face. So he probably should have left that alone. Because right now, the black community is all about counseling. The black community is all about getting healed. These young black people are all about counseling and getting healed. And they use a lot of that I used to call counselor terminology. I've been doing it my whole life, so it ain't nothing new to me. But these kids is on it. But I love to see that, right? Because we all need to do some mental healing. So that's popular right now, if you will say, with the kids. And that's what it is. But I'm like, man, definitely, Drake, read the room. Why did you think that was going to Why did you think that was going to help? They don't like that. So he shouldn't have did that. But it kind of seems like it's fell flat on his face. I think that's where we're at. Now, there's another song I was looking for it, and if you know what it is or where it's at, go on and send it to me, please, ladies and gentlemen, and, if you're watching the show. But I think it's the song where Drake is kind of apologizing for all this stuff and saying that, I need to get better people to hang around, and they gave you all this information, and I feel like I've heard that song, but I didn't see it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta look for that. But I think that's where the battle is at right now. If you ask me, I had totaled it up in here. Hold up. Let me actually look for the numbers. But I want to say right now, as it stands, let me get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. It stands at Kendrick Lamar 5 diss songs, Drake 4. So Drake is one behind. And I'm not adding in all the Rick Ross, Metro Boom, and all that stuff. That's just extra icing on the already delicious cake, right? But yeah, so right now I guess Drake owes us another a diss to Kendrick Lamar, or maybe they just leave it alone. If I was Drake, I'd just leave it alone. He done got his ASS handed to him. It's a family show. I'm trying to be family, ladies and gentlemen. He got butt handed to him a couple of times. Some of these songs against Drake are really, really good. Some of his songs against Kendrick Lamar, they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They're entertaining to listen to, but Kendrick Lamar songs really have teeth. You know, so it is what it is. If I was Drake, I would just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up, and let it go. Let it gloss over, man. You still doing shows. You still making money. You still got your woman. You still got a bunch of women. So there it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I'm out of her. Ain't no IPA of the week right now. Like I said, I'm sipping on a Moscato from Sutter Home. Delicious, right? Mm-hmm. You know your boy mess with wine every now and then. I like a sweet Moscato. There it is. That is my time. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. Urban Politics, Phys Ed Music. What can I say? See you around like a donut.